Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or one is already subject to.
The understanding of the transmutation of the fields of the universe will become the new occupation of man. In a way, up to now, we looked into the skies to see the UFO. Mankind will look into the skies with the eye of the soul, not with the eye of the man. And universe and unicos is oyster. You got to understand that with a new understanding of the fields of the universe in motion, what we call energy, fields of the universe in the uniformity of the motion we call plasma, now has to be understood. Now has to be integrated into the structure of what we call life of the man in the space. We need to bring this change in, as now mankind has matured enough in numbers to be able to bring that burden of the change for the rest. You'll be amazed in the next few weeks and months how the drug traffickers will dump and try to make the dogs and the cats addict because they can't reach their bosses. And you do the same with your cat and dog, but just buy them ahead and put them on the line the hours that is transmitted. And we have set our system that there is no hacking. Now you have to understand how to bring the two fields of your soul, of physicality, you will call the spirit, and the soul of the man, to work together. That does not need the brain cell, but it works without it, the way you shall do when you become a passenger of the universe, as your brain in this amino acid cannot exist. We don't have a brain between the earth and the sun. It's got to be part of the knowledge of man in the space that sooner or later mankind will come to understand that the totality of the knowledge shared belongs not only to man. It is the rise of every citizen of this planet. And it's the right of all of us to have access to it. We don't make a game of it, we make a life of it. Keshe Foundation is set to bring that change to technology, and we will have many enemies. Those who want us not to be there, and how they can bring that condition for them not to be. Try to understand what the emotion is. Try to understand how you create that emotion. Try to understand in what condition of physicality you create the strength with the interaction of the field of the soul that gives you that emotion. And then go to your soul and create the same field of strength and interaction with the soul of physicality creates the same emotion. Then if you become mature to this, then it doesn't matter if the soul is the protector of the physicality or the physicality is protector of the soul. They work in a synchronized manner because they are both aware of everything. When you work in that strength, all the other souls and physicalities work on the same strength, then man shall not lie, man shall not cheat, man shall not kill, because I'm hungry, I need fields, and I'm given fields. It's got to be understood by majority of the people. And gradually, but all from the point of the first education, what it means to live with the soul, and what it means the existence of the spirit, or the dimension of physicality. Our children will be educated to the knowledge of the universe from birth, the way they inherited the exchromosome and became paralyzed and become all the diseases they caught. It's just the energy and emotion which has brought that change. So the same shall be when the man understands this as a childhood, within the father's and mother's energy fields that has no X chromosome or Y. When the children of the man are created from the fields of the soul of the man, man shall bring no imperfect child to this world. That time has come. And that time is amongst us. And it's the time for us to bring it. In a coming time, in a very, very short time, as we are working in the background and development of technologies, as our team have to understand it, there'll be no room for vaccination. We transfer the energy of what we call the virus, which your body of dimension of physicality could be a virus on this planet, but on the other planet or position in the universe is your food, to understand the transmutation from position to position. So you do come to the point that if you want to have a measles protection, you put your child this channel, this time allows this to be received as an energy. There'll be no ADHD, there will be no autism because of the mixture of the viruses and the injections and fake ways they do deliver to them. Now, gradually, your eyes opening up, the capability and the possibilities which is now is open to mankind. You go on channel 24 and you can have as much apple as you like, but you won't pull an apple, you won't kill an apple. You want to have a lamb, you go on channel 26, you get to taste the food and everything of it, and you don't need to slaughter an animal. Now you understand how extensive this will touch you, and how satellites are needed, because the electronic satellites have a limitation of physicality. We need the soul satellite, which is of the same and transmute the same and is there to give and to exist. I made man in the image of myself. Is our creator ADHD or is he a drug addict? None. And so should be the man. Now the man has the knowledge. And this is the cornerstones of the teaching. This is the cornerstones of understanding the embodiment of the cosmic rays, the soul, the gases, and everything else which goes with it. What will be the next step for you to understand the strength of the cosmic rays? Which one you need, which one you don't need. How do you attract it to yourself, and how you reject some because you don't need it even though they're on target. Very soon, once we start these systems to go public for you to tap into, you will tell us how you feel. You will tell us, today I didn't eat, not interested. Because today I received what I need as energy through all the channels which is set up by Keshe Foundation. We govern the planet, not pieces of land. We govern through the soul and technology and knowledge, not by the gun policy and whatever sits with it. We need your support to be able to bring that change scientifically, correctly, and with the process and understanding of the whole lot, that we do not bring the change by wars, we bring change by love and creation of new country. I hope you understand what's on the table today and what is the part of the teaching. The main topic and the main objective of today is we do not need intermediaries. And nobody can protect the right of the Creator when themselves are abusers of the name of the Creator in the name of Ayatollah and the rest of it. I hope you understood the teaching of today. It has come to an end, and you understand scientifically why to the views of the man by the religion. Unless you enjoy an intermediary because you still think, I haven't found it either, so I double in weaknesses of my own lack of understanding. Look to understand, try to find out the knowledge, and at the same time try to be precise, that you don't need another intermediary. You understand the knowledge that there is no need for intermediary anywhere in the universe. I always said, my message hasn't changed. It's for you to understand and mature to. When I said to the professors at Jeddah University in early 2012-13, when they wanted to send a student to the KF SSI, in which direction do you get your student to pray and bend when it's traveling the span of the universe and the earth is rotating and they're upside down and they're in different part of the universe which rotates itself? Where do you find your God to pray to, unless your God is within you, understanding the conduct? The message has not changed. And the technology and the knowledge has not changed. We just explain more of it and you understand it more freely.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 614th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, October 30th, 2025. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Kremen, and I'll be your host once again in this weekly series of ongoing workshops. And once again, we have the honor of having Mr. Mehran Keshe as our main presenter here today. So I think he is ready to go, and we'll enter into today's presentation. Please go ahead, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good day to you. As usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. We welcome you back, and as promised, we start a new cycle of teaching. The reason for the new teaching, new information, or whatever connects to the past is that mankind is getting ready for that emergence of the universal community. We have no choice. The time is certain. Hopefully, we need to know more. Otherwise, these people, as we see today, all our NASA scientists and space scientists are baffled by how one of these objects or both of them are behaving, but understanding the plasma technology, that's exactly how they should behave. So, if somebody comes out of any of these spaceships and say is God, half of humanity will bend backwards and pray and kiss his foot. But if you understand the technology, you understand most of the human race is a step ahead of, because as I said before, this in the spaceship where we are teaching, we're developing the transmutation of the soul as a man. What is important, and I think we should have covered this at the very beginning of the teaching some 10, 15 years ago, but mankind wasn't ready for it, is to understand what is God. What do we call creator? And how does the universe of us works within him, by him, and through operation of the what we call the rest of the universe? One of the most important things for us as knowledge seekers has to be, and comes to be, is to understand what is this, what we call creator, is made of. It goes back to understanding of the totality of the structure of the work and how us as a human race, which are so materialistic, can understand this and bring to us, for us, a dimension of what we call connection. What would it be, and how should it be, and how does it operate? I have to answer a call. If you can wait 1 second, please. I'll come back.
Our background image here today is from the products of the Keshe Foundation that are being offered as part of the Halloween package. And you can still order, but it'll be for next year at this point. Hello, Mr. Keshe, are you back?
I'm back, yes. Sorry, that was important info. Call I had to accept. We've been waiting for it. Yeah, the cosmic ray bundle is what do you call it? The Halloween is the last pack went out yesterday, as far as I know, and we're getting ready for the New Year pack. It will be out by the 11th of December, the latest, and whatever it is there and what we need to do with it, and what we need to, what we call, deliver according to what we have. Let me quiet down this thing. Our Zoom does what it likes. I cannot disconnect this out. Just 1 second. Why do we have a problem with Zoom all the time? Okay, we're going. What is important for us is to understand what we are dealing with, and most probably in the coming time, when we come to understand, when we see our what we call space brethren, the people who are on their way to us, they might land here this year, they might land in next year or 100 years from now, but we have put a beacon out. We're telling everybody what we are doing. Now we become so clever that our beacons are on satellites and the rest of it, so we are making a lot of noise in the space where man did not used to. It was just shouting and howling and maybe drumming. And a few kilometers would have gone. Now we are drumming to the universe. Our satellites, our spaceships, we are intruding in every dimension and every possible way. And we come to see, as I said, the biggest problem for mankind will be that anyone claims to be the God or the prophet of space. And human race falls for it because they can do magics that they couldn't do, so they know more. What is important for us is to understand the truth about our own creator, to analyze how it works, how it creates, how it manifests, and how this thing exists. If we look at it, we call this a plasma, for example. This is what is as the entity of the creator. At the point of conception, it's nothing but energies. Magnetic fields are created out of the energies, not energies out of magnetic fields. So if our creator makes a ripple in shape or another, these ripples will become interacting, will become pressurizing each other, and lead to creation of magnetic fields. Mankind has not understood this, and that's why we are in problem in a lot of directions and dimensions in space technology and others. Magnetic fields are created out of the motion of the energies of the universe, and not magnetic field creating the energy of the universe. Once we understand this, we see the creator decides, let's say, to move a plasma muscle here. It leads to creation of a magnetic field. It's a ripple effect. It's literally, as I explained once before, it's like being an ocean. Calm, no movement, flat water. And then suddenly something ripples, something moves. And what do we see? We see waves establishing on the what we call the surface of the ocean. These waves are the magnetic fields. And liquid of the ocean is the plasma of the creator. Once we understand this, then we come to understand more and more how these waves interact with each other, and interaction of this one with the other one creates inertia, and this one with this one creates life. And once we understand this, the whole dimension of magic goes out of it. It's a logical, it's a system, but the only difference is we call it oceans to be big. The ocean of the plasma of the creator is a universe. So if you understand this, we come to understand sometimes when one of these things by accident touches something, another field of the other one, it creates inertia. So when inertia, depending on its strength or whatever, leads to creation of stars. And then the same way with the magnetic field of the rest. What we will see, which is now shocking the world of physics with the 3I, and now R2 has entered the scene very heavily, is that we have not, our scientists have not understood how inertia is created. What inertia is, we just call it inertia. We just call it the gravity. But knowledge, because you understand exactly what it means and exactly what it brings. Then it comes to the position of the interaction of the fields of the environment, anywhere in this galaxies of the creation of the creator, and this leads to creation of life. The life which is connected to the life of the universe and is not localized has two characteristics in it. One, contains hydrogen or elements of the hydrogen singularity, and dimension of the carbon. The other two are local industries attach themselves, and then you have other things like calcium and others attach themselves for this cell to operate. So our creator, the plasma of the creation, has a sense of giving and a sense of pulling. Pull is only effective if it is heavier, which is the carbon-14. Pull, dissipation is if it's thin enough to go with the other, which is magnetical. And if we observe this, we see our creator is just a huge gel of energy, and everything else is created by the interaction of the fields of it. And if you understand how to play, you can go through the center of stars. If you can play and create the right fields, you can sit on the surface of the sun and don't get burned, and the rest of it. And this is where we have to understand. And this is where the time comes into play, the fields comes into play, and the soul comes into play, and the essence of the creation. So, in a way, you get a pot of jelly and put it on the table, and every now and then shake it. You see different ripples, different things, and everywhere. And you see lines and collection of lines and the rest of it, and it's exactly what happens to our creator. He doesn't have bone, he doesn't have a skull, he does not possess eyes, but through the vibration of the fields of the energy, what we call creation of magnetic field, it gives access to the whole knowledge of what's going on. He's top, he sits on the top, then he knows what the man is up to as much as the others in the universe. The most important thing for our scientists and the knowledge seekers and the people who come in is to watch what the new contacts with the universal community tries to teach man. That the man will not get fooled to fall for what is a natural process. They have huge power over magnetic fields. They can create huge shielding, which we know the technology. and we understand the technology, and our wish is that by the end of this year, man does not start another cycle of creation on Earth, as we've seen with the pyramids, where the knowledge was buried, the knowledge is there, and those of who were there became passengers of universe because they were, in a way, lured to this beauty of what they have they couldn't understand. Human race now understand most of this and cannot be fooled by magics and powers and the rest of it. The biggest problem for our world of science and technology and the governing bodies of this planet is how to digest maybe this encounter with 3I or 2R and the future passengers of the universe. If we show we are naive, we don't understand, we'll be more or less abused and treated like not only a third-class citizen of the space, as ignorance, and does not matter what you're trying to teach about the dimension of the soul, because you don't have something physical, you cannot be trusted. Typical European attitude. Show me, I believe it, because when you show me, I can cheat you and take it from you and becomes mine. And show me to believe is for me to believe. I don't need to show. So, as knowledge seekers, now you understand where you came from. You are within a jelly of magnetic fields created by the interaction of the energies of the Creator. But this system has always a basic fields, which is the carbon and is the hydrogen or single atom, fundamental atom, and a combination of it, because it's carbon-14, the 6 sides to connect and 7 sides to emit or anchor to. And once man understands, the magicians of the universe cannot do much, because we understand you have come with the technique. That's good, but what about us? The biggest problem mankind will face if we go through the encounter, which is now set up to be around the end of this year, we think, if they don't change their position and dimension and fields, will bring a lot of disaster for man, because now become electronics, we become everything else computerized, and the weakness in this is magnetic fields. If you carry a credit card with a chip on it, they just put a bit on it and they read your chip and they empty your account. But if you know how to have bags or purses, you just put it in there, they can't do anything. And we have to become that way. We have to understand that cannot be cheated. And for sure, our governance will do that. Starting from the presidents and the rest, they'll be lured by the gold and everything else, which is meaningless to anything else, but they get their way done. This is what and where mankind has to become very clear. Understanding the truth about one's own creation. That we are part of the magnetic field of the universe we live in, which has come from the movement of the energy of the embodiment of the Creator. Now you understand why for years I tell you energy is magnetic fields in motion. That was taught for years because of what you explained today. What we explain, how this sits, explains, and you understand how you can speed it up, how you can reduce it, how you can use the energies of the universe to the advantage of yourself without doing anything, by knowing when to tap, how to tap, and how to live. This is opposite and against all the teaching of scientific world of today, because we've been pushed to accept the nonsense of the matter energy by the energy of the matter, and does not fit. So, as we start this cycle of teaching, we speak about the fields of the Creator. Energies of the Creator, which lead to creation of the magnetic field, which lead to creation of You, me, the mountains, the stars, the galaxies, and the rest. Think on what I explained today, because this is the breaking point where you lot have to start moving. Not me. I have moved a long time ago. To understand the process of physicality, to understand the process of energy, and to understand when one goes to the other and back, and understand the source of your creation is your creator. So you don't need to tap into the sun. You can tap in the dimension of the plasma of the soul of the creator, and all of you today in this session are receiving it. It's free. We have set up our systems that you absorb it. It's you that has to start changing and bringing peace to yourself and to your environment, and understanding how you can absorb energy. In today's session, we are syncing you with the energy of the universe. Let's see what you come out with and how you understand the process of the creation. Understand one thing. Your creator does not have a bone and a skull. He has love, energy, which in transfer of the energy becomes a magnetic field that by resisting and interacting becomes the body of the man. You call it frequency. Once you understand this, we are halfway through understanding that our friends of space, if they turn up on the 19th, 20th of December, don't bring us any surprises, but you will see mankind will be surprised. They have very advanced technology, but not advanced as knowledge seekers who understand how to use the soul of the man. They're here to learn that, and it's your job to teach it. We stop the teaching today and answer you some of the questions until next week. I'm extremely sick. I try not to cancel, but to be here as a respect and honor for all of you. So we try to answer a few questions, and we curtail the teaching of today, and we come back together next week.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe, for being here. All right, we can open up our attendees to questions. And you don't need an intermission here. You'd like to just enter right into questions, and
yes, please.
Yeah.
A few questions, and yes.
Right. Okay. Well, we have a number of questions in the Q&A, but I'll remind our attendees that you can raise your virtual hand here in the Zoom meeting, and we can open your microphone so you can speak. And others in the chats can put questions in the chats, or preferably in the Q&A. And we have a number of them already. And also YouTube people can put questions into that chat. Okay, well, let's have a look at the Q&A. And we'll start out with the first one with Gerhard, who says, "Good day to Mr. Keshe and all seekers of knowledge. During last Friday's training session in overtime, the 5th hour, a completely different feeling could be sensed. Could Mr. Keshe comment on this and the results?"
With the last session, we brought in a special technology in that we saw it appropriate, and we are not using it today. We assess it next week, maybe. And this gives you direct transmutation. Many of you had different feeling in the last hour, and hopefully our team will be able to put it together for next week. And it's primarily is for you to connect to universal fields. When you want the energy of an apple, you don't look on the earth for it. You take it from the depth of the space, which is surplus there. It does not need to destroy an apple or a lamb or whatever. And this is part of our work now, and should be completed in the next few days and weeks. And we tried today, you're on that system, but in different way, you're all receiving. We are not taking anything from you. And we have not applied what we did the last time because we have to be ready for it to be done. It brings you directly in connection with the soul of the Creator, if you can understand it that way.
Okay, we have a similar question from Leo Mar from the Brazilian community, who says, "Thank you for the breakthrough teachings to humanity. In the early hours of Thursday morning around 4 a.m., I woke up and walked to the living room and lay down on my back on the sofa, put on my headphones, and began to listen to the teaching. I soon noticed the presence of intense fields emanating from the system, creating a very specific energetic condition around me. It seemed to be the beginning of the process of the transmutation of the soul. I felt a powerful energy running through my entire body, concentrating mainly in the upper part, especially in my head. This energy became stronger and stronger until a very real sensation of levitation arose. At that moment, I understood that I was in a state of separation from physicality, and I thought, this is the state of the soul. I need to learn to maintain control when I am in the dimension of the soul. Then I pushed myself hard with the desire to free myself from the physical body. On the second attempt, I succeeded. I found myself standing still in the living room, fully conscious. I walked to the bedroom and saw my wife and daughter lying down, sleeping peacefully. I felt peace and said to myself, everything is fine here. With a light heart, I declared, now I want to go to our visitors at Three Eye Atlas. Instantly, I began to rise into the sky, able to see the stars clearly. However, before I could reach my desired destination, I felt a sudden force that pulled my soul back into my physical body, ending the process of transmutation. Question. I believe we are beginning to understand and experience soul transmutation, but we are still unable to fully control the process when we are in the soul dimension. Often we do not go where we want to go, but are taken where the soul itself wants to go. How can we develop conscious control and direction during the soul dimension experience so that we can choose our destinations in a balanced and correct way?
The more you do, the more you learn. It's just a practice. The more you test, the more you learn, the more you know where you make adjustments. There's never a mistake, but don't forget the soul has its own connection dimension. It's not that you where you want to go. You're a piggyback rider, not the rider itself. And this is one of the most important parts for you to learn. Try to learn step by step how to fly, how to see, how to connect, how to communicate, and understand that what you say once you come across the face of these people, entities, living things, you have to understand the logic of them and not the logic you want to convey. Then you'll succeed. Fear is your biggest problem.
That leads to the second question, which he goes on, when I am in the soul dimension, I often say, now is the time to transmute physicality. However, I'm unable to perform the physical transmutation. Could you enlighten us further on how to create the right conditions and emotions so that we can consciously and naturally bring physicality into the transmutation process?
The secret was just in the early part of the session. Understand gravity. It's the gravity and the inertia which is holding. You have to create a field strength that is balanced with gravity and at peace with itself and the inertia. The obstacle is not one fault, it's three faults. One your nature, one is your gravity, and one is the destination field strength.
The person had already commented that this energy became stronger and stronger until a very real sensation of levitation arose. So it seems to be to go along with that.
Many people are trying, and many people are succeeding. You just need to practice. Just practice. Need to. There is no other choice. Can we have one more question and call it a day? I cannot stay with the session.
The question from Nadir from the Brazilian community. If the 3i Atlas came to sow new life, and if it has come before, then were we created by it or by another similar spaceship?
No, it's a combination of which part of us. Part of us, bunch of us are not from this planet. Our visitors always say, bunch of us got affected by the presence of it, created new intellect, and their own goals. We should understand they are not the masters, but they know a little bit more on the matter side, not the soul side, and you see it from the performance. Every indication is just a very materialistic structure, physical, and knows how to play with the fields. That's all it is. We have to wait and see what happens in December. Shall we call it a day? And we'll meet next week. Sorry about this, I'm extremely sick.
Yep.
It's impossible to hold on with a lot of headache and other pains.
Yes, thank you very much for making it this far.
Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.
All right. Well, Mr. Keshe has never missed a workshop in 614 of them, so this is not an exception and probably the shortest one that we've had to have. So it's definitely a strong situation where he has to deal with it. So just to let everybody know, where this is the 614th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, October 30th, and that will conclude our workshop for today. And our next public teaching workshop will be coming up. We'll be into November. Then Tuesday, November 4th will be the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace with members and support members of the Universal Council, who will be presenting that show starting at 4 p.m. Central European Time. And by then we'll be converted from the daylight savings time to whatever other time there is. Just make sure you check with your local time during this transition from the Central European summertime to Central European time, CET that is, and that changes according to the local times as well during this next week or so. All right, any leftover questions, please keep them until next week and we'll attempt to deal with them then. And thank you everyone for attending today's workshop. And we look forward to seeing you in a future Knowledge Seekers workshop or one of the other workshops of the Keshe Foundation. And before I go, I've got speaking of the Universal Council, I've got an announcement that I need to read. Just bear with me a minute here while I find it. Okay. Just 1 second or two. And I can share it now. It's from Lissy from the Universal Council, and as representing the Universal Council, and says, "We, the Universal Council, invite you to freely unite your souls every 3 hours, unifying them to illuminate the souls of all leaders and find the path to permanent peace, avoiding the suffering of physicality on this planet." All right. Thank you, Lissy, for that. And once again, thank you, everybody, for attending today's workshop. And a big thank you to Mr. Keshe for not missing one yet. So that's the way, quite amazing. Over a dozen years or so. All right, we'll end for today and go out with our usual manner with the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music. And bye for now, everyone.